What's going on, guys? So, I got some terrible news. Sorry to say it like that. Um, so, apparently, Pacquiao versus Thurman, there will be no VADA testing. Um, there's testing by the Nevada, State Commission, just like any other fight would have, but it's just a urine sample. But there is no VADA testing, so that's great. Um, Man, this is awful. That's what boxing needed. A fight that now has an asterisk for, you know, potentially whoever wins. I don't know how new some of you may be to the sport of boxing. If you don't know too much about Pacquiao in particular, having iffy um, signs here and there throughout his career that he might have been on something. I mean, let's start off that he's been through 12 weight classes, literally from the smallest weight division. I think it's like straw weight or something, and he's fighting currently at welterweight. Some of the greatest athletes throughout boxing history has moved up to like 6 weight classes. Like Roy Jones, Oscar. I think Floyd fought in 5. I think James Toney fought in 6. De La Hoya was 6. I think Ray Robinson fought in 6. He started at lightweight, I'm pretty sure. Duran, I think he started from featherweight to middleweight. Um, so that's what? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so he went through 5 weight classes. Um, so yeah, it's disappointing, definitely. Now that we have this black cloud over, what's supposed to be a great fight. Keith Thurman actually kind of touched on it in the press conference. Pacquiao can take whatever, and I'll still knock his ass out or retire him. Something like that. And people kind of just brushed it to the side, but now that it's official, I think it goes credit to the boxing scene. I think they were kind of the first ones to throw this out there. So there's no VADA testing. Um, hmm. I mean, I know people are probably switching their picks now. If they were picking Thurman, maybe they're picking Pacquiao now because Pacquiao might be back on the juice. There's no official evidence that Pacquiao took something, to Pacquiao and his team's credit, but the signs were definitely there. One, he fought through 12 weight classes, so that's kind of odd that he started from the smallest weight division and now he's like, there's only 18 divisions in boxing and he's been through 12, including the very smallest. So that's a little bit odd. Power is the last thing to go in boxing. So if no one's told you this before, I'm telling you now. That's kind of a known thing in boxing that power is the last thing to go. George Foreman still got knockouts at 41. Adonis was 40 and he's still hurting guys and knocking guys out. Power's. I think you have your power until you're about 50. Obviously, your velocity, your timing, your speed will drop down before then, but whatever thump that comes behind it, that will be there till you're 50. So, however hard I hit now is relatively going to be similar for the next 25 years. Yeah, power's the last thing to go. Pacquiao was able to walk down big punchers like Miguel Cotto, Mosley, Joshua Colati, a big welterweight, Antonio Margarito, a big welterweight. All these guys can punch, and he was able to walk them down, but he doesn't get any knockouts anymore, right? Didn't get a knockout till what? Lucas Matisse, which I don't think had any drug testing. That was in Macau, China. Couldn't knock out Chris Algieri, couldn't knock out, what's his name, Jeff Horn, but you can walk down Miguel Cotto, you can knock out, Oscar De La Hoya, even though he was weight drained. Just certain signs like that, it's just kind of iffy. Like I said, you haven't had a knockout in 10 years. Power didn't drop. Your power wouldn't drop off that dramatic. You know what I mean? 10 years he hadn't had a knockout, and then all of a sudden, no testing, you get a knockout. All of a sudden, he starts beating fighters. You know, I mean, I think he would have beat Broner anyway, but because I don't trust Broner to let his hands go. But I don't think there was no testing in that fight until like half of the camp. I think the first half of the camp there was no testing, and then the last month in January or in December they started doing drug testing, which is kind of odd. And you know, notice Pacquiao's performances have gotten better when they've had limited to no drug testing. You know, over the last year or so. So, you know, what have I been saying the last couple of videos? You know, once, you know, that could be an anomaly. 2, it could be a coincidence. 3, a pattern. I don't even know what comes after 4. I guess that's a fact at that point. So, you know, there's just been too many signs through Pacquiao's career where he might have been on something, and now that he's off of it, performances have gone down a little bit, even against fighters that he normally would have knocked out cold in his prime. So it's just an ugly black cloud that we did not need in the sport of boxing for this type of fight. Which I think it would have been good regardless, you know. So, you know, not to mean that he is on something right now or is for the camp, but it's just not a good look. You know, ultimately the optics are just bad. Like I said, we don't have anything official to prove on Manny Pacquiao, but the signs are definitely there. So, you know, take that with what you will. Definitely read about it. You know, it's probably the main reason why it didn't happen the first time with Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather when they were supposed to fight back in like 2010, 2011, you know, when they were still in their primes. It's because Pacquiao, you know, scared of needles. Another hint, hint. You're not afraid to fight Margarito, who's twice your size, but you're afraid of a little needle that's going to be in you for what, 2 seconds? Again, not a good sign. And once that happened, that's when his knockout started to decrease. It was after the Margarito and Clottey fights, 2 big welterweights. So again, you know, a little bit odd. Hopefully that won't be the case. Hopefully whoever's supposed to win the fight will win it. You know, it's just, you know, it's just unfortunate, man. You know, really looking forward to it, but now knowing that VADA's, and I think the whole card is like that. So it's not just this fight; the entire card. There's no VADA testing, so anybody on this fight card could theoretically be on something and, you know, not get caught or whatever. So it's a shame because it's probably the best card of the year, and there's no VADA testing for any of the fights that's going on that day. So if I'm a family member or a close friend of the fighters, you know, definitely tell them how much you appreciate. No, I'm just kidding. It's not going to be that bad. You know, hopefully everyone will be safe and, you know, get to go to their families. But, you know, it's definitely bad news, you know. It definitely, it might change my pick. I'm still going to roll with Keith, but I don't know. I mean, if he's on that, you know, stuff again. And I was already kind of, you know, borderline 50-50 anyway, but, you know, now that there's no drug testing, you know, he might have a little pep in his step in this fight. So I'll still roll with Thurman, but it's definitely 50-50 now. So we'll see. But let me know what you guys think about the, you know, no VADA testing for the entire card. But, you know, let me know what you guys think. Drop comments, like, subscribe. Share the video, and you guys take it easy.